Good morning, everyone. My name is Carretero-Bonghanoy. For today's Toolbox meeting, I will be sharing a short discussion in line with March as Fire Prevention Month. The main message of this presentation is simple. Fire prevention is part of the job. It is not only about compliance, inspections, or emergency response. It is about the daily actions we take to identify hazards, control risks, and prevent fires before they start. In our line of work, fire prevention helps protect people, assets, operations, and the workplace as a whole. For the short toolbox talk, I will cover 6 key points. First, Fire Prevention Month of 2026, including its purpose and the importance of this year's reminder. Second, why fire prevention matters, especially in the workplace and in our day to day operations. Third, common fire risks on site or the hazards we usually see that can lead to fire if left uncorrected. Fourth, what good prevention looks like, meaning the simple actions and habits that help stop fire incidents before they happen. Fifth, partnership with the BFP and why coordination with the fire authorities is also part of strengthening prevention. And finally, if a fire starts, the basic reminder on what to do and what to prioritize. March is observed as Fire Prevention Month, and it serves as a timely reminder that fire prevention must be taken seriously in every workplace. For us, this is not only a yearly campaign, it is a practical reminder that fire risks must be identified and controlled before they become incidents. BFP's theme this year is, sa pag-iwas sa sunog, hindi ka nag-iisa. The message is clear. Fire prevention is a shared responsibility. It is not only the responsibility of the BFP. It also involves the workplace, the safety team, operations, maintenance, contractors, and every employee on site. For our sites, this means that fire prevention is not only the job of the fire service or the safety team. Fire safety becomes effective only when everyone takes part in identifying hazards, following safe practices, and acting early when unsafe conditions are seen. Second, workplace readiness improves when operations, maintenance, contractors, and BFP coordinate early. Good coordination helps align expectations, improve preparedness, and make response more organized if an emergency happens. Third, small responsible actions by each person build stronger collective protection. Many fire incidents are prevented not by one major action but by simple daily actions such as correcting a hazard, reporting an issue, or keeping emergency access clear. Fourth, the best time to work with BFP is before an incident and not only during inspection or after a fire. Prevention is always stronger when coordination and readiness are built early rather than only when there is already a problem. So, the overall message of this year's theme is simple. Fire prevention works best when responsibility is shared. When everyone does their part, the workplace becomes safer, more prepared, and more resilient. Let me now move to the next point, which is why fire prevention matters. In our work environment, fire is never a small issue because its impact can spread very quickly. If one preventable fire starts, people can be injured and emergency evacuation can disrupt all work. Even a small incident can create panic, interrupt activities, and put people at risk within minutes. A fire can also damage equipment, rooms, tools, and stock in minutes. What takes months or years to build, install, or maintain can be damaged very quickly once a fire is no longer controlled. Beyond physical damage, operations can stop, which leads to service delays and lost productivity. For a working site, even one short disruption can affect schedules, commitments, and overall performance. Another important point is that clients and stakeholders remember how well we prevented and responded. Fire safety is not only a compliance issue, it also affects confidence, professionalism, and how the organization is viewed. Most incidents do not begin with dramatic failures. They usually begin with small, tolerated conditions such as poor housekeeping, overloaded wiring, blocked exits, or improper storage that were seen but not corrected. That is why a fire event is never only a safety issue. It is also an operations issue, an asset issue, and a reputation issue. Preventing fire protects much more than the physical space. Let us now look at common fire risks on site. These are familiar conditions that can be seen in the day to day operations and should be corrected before they can lead to an incident. The first common risk is electrical overload and damaged temporary wiring. What looks like a convenient shortcut can become an ignition source when left uncorrected, especially if wires are overloaded, exposed, or poorly connected. Another routine risk is hot work near cardboards, rags, paint, dust, or fuel containers. Sparks and heat from welding, grinding, or cutting can ignite nearby combustibles very quickly if the area is not checked properly. We also see risks from poor housekeeping and waste left beside panels or heat sources. Clutter, trash, and unused materials may seem harmless, but they add fuel and make fire spread faster once it starts. Another risk is improper storage of flammables, chemicals, or cleaning materials. If these are placed in the wrong location or stored without control, they can significantly increase fire risk and make emergency response more difficult. Fire risks also increased when extinguishers are blocked, exits are blocked, hose reels are hidden, or access is locked. In an emergency, response depends on speed, and any obstruction can delay life saving action. A very practical issue on many sites is when electrical rooms or genset areas slowly become storage areas. These are not meant for general storage, and allowing materials to build up in these spaces creates unnecessary fire risk. The key message here is direct. If a hazard is visible, it is already actionable. Once we can see the risk, we should not wait for a better time. It should be corrected or reported immediately. So, what does good prevention look like in practice? It starts with simple checks before work begins and with the discipline to act early on visible hazards. The first check is to check cords, plugs, temporary wiring, and extension use. We should look for overload, poor condition, exposed wires, and any setup that can create heat or electrical failure. The second check is to check if sparks, heat, or hot work will be near combustibles. If hot work is planned, the surrounding area must be reviewed first so combustibles are removed or properly controlled. The third check is to make sure exits, extinguishers, alarms, and hose reels are clear. Emergency equipment is only useful if people can see it and reach it immediately. The fourth check is to confirm that fuel, LPG, chemicals, and cleaning materials are stored correctly. Proper storage is part of prevention because it reduces both ignition risk and escalation risk. The fifth check is simple but important. Check if the hazard can be corrected now instead of left for later. Many incidents happen because people already saw the problem but decided to delay action. This is the practical mindset we need. See it, stop it, report it, correct it. The best emergency response starts before the emergency, which means prevention begins with early action. The next point is partnership with the BFP. Fire prevention becomes stronger when there is good coordination between the workplace and the local fire authorities. The first point is to engage BFP early, not only for compliance. The relationship should not begin only during inspections or permit requirements. Early engagement supports prevention and preparedness. Second, early coordination improves site readiness. When expectations and communication lines are already clear, the site becomes better prepared for fire prevention activities, drills, and emergency response. Third, Partnership strengthens awareness and response. Good coordination with BFP can support better understanding of risks, better readiness, and more organized action during an actual incident. Fourth, strong coordination reflects real safety commitment. It shows that fire prevention is taken seriously and that the organization values proactive safety, not just minimum compliance. So, the main message here is that strong partnerships protect people, strengthen readiness, and build trust. Good coordination supports both prevention and credibility. Let me now move to the final topic. If a fire starts, protect life first. In any fire event, response must be fast, disciplined, and aligned with a site emergency procedure. The first action is to raise the alarm and inform the site emergency contact immediately. No one should assume that another person has already done it. Fast reporting is critical. The second reminder is to use an extinguisher only if the fire is still small, and you are trained to do so. If the fire is growing or the situation is unsafe, do not take unnecessary risk. Next, evacuate through the nearest safe exit and move to the assembly point. People must move calmly but quickly, following the designated route and avoiding delay. Another important reminder is do not re-enter until the area is declared safe by the proper authority. Re-entering too early puts lives at risk and can interfere with emergency response. So the key message is this: protect life first, follow site procedure, and know the route before you need the route. Fire response is more effective when people already know what to do before the emergency happens. The most effective fire response begins long before any alarm sounds. It begins with prevention. By identifying hazards early, correcting unsafe conditions immediately, and not allowing small risks to become major incidents. The best fire response is still to prevent the fire from starting. To summarize, I covered Fire Prevention Month 2026, why fire prevention matters, common fire risks on site, what good prevention looks like, partnership with the BFP, and what to do if a fire starts. All of these point to one simple message: prevention starts with daily discipline. Let us continue to make fire prevention part of the job by staying alert, correcting hazards early, and doing our part to keep the workplace safe. Thank you, everyone. This has been Christina Bonghanoy.